Hey y'all, thanks for stopping by. So, transparency is in the news today. So I'd like to touch on that a little bit. If you haven't been keeping up with it, they're still doing the January 6th committee, and they're asking for the White House guest list. Just the people who, there is a sign-in list where when you go on tours or stuff like that, you sign in at the front desk, basically like any government building or really any building. And they're asking for that documentation for this committee from the time frame when Trump was president. Now, he tried to use some sort of executive privilege regarding not releasing that documentation, which got rejected. He was given 15 days to provide that paperwork. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I would be angry if that got to me in less than an hour. There's no reason why that kind of documentation, like, I don't understand how you could try to pull executive privilege on something like that. This is a sign-in sheet, you know? To me, hearing something like that, what do you got to hide? You're afraid of something on that list, whether there's some names on that or something. You don't want that in the courts. So I think it's really important that they actually get that paperwork, especially with doing anything you can to not provide it. I feel like you do have legal rights for sure in any kind of law situation, privacy and things like that. But if you get subpoenaed in court for something, fighting it, sure, if you have a legal backing, go for it if you feel like it. But I look at something like that and it just makes me wonder, what are you trying to hide? What are you afraid of with them knowing who showed up for a tour at the White House? So I think transparency in a court of law is important. I think it's important to get all of the information together about something before you make that judgment call. That's not just with a court of law, though. I would say it's good to be transparent in all facets of your life. We all do expect a level of privacy, but when it comes to questionable details about your past, I think you should be forthcoming with that information. Maybe not for the average type of poster, the regular internet user. I wouldn't expect you guys to give out your name and information or stuff like that, but even in your conversations among friends that you meet online, I'm sure you expect them to be honest with you just as much as you're honest with them. When it comes to the creator environment and transparency, there has been a recent, I'm not really sure what to call it, to be honest. Some video essayist, AdamSomething, I'll link his channel in the description, has had some, I believe he put the information out himself, but, information about his youth. And with him growing up in Austria, in Eastern Europe, he has a rather questionable past with the groups he was involved in, with his political ideology and the shifts that he's made. It's not a stretch to say that he would be considered far right in his youth. And he's made a change, or he claims to have made a change at least. With all the stuff that he's put out, all of his video essays, some of the political stuff and terminology, I'm not afraid to say, kind of goes over my head a little bit. But as far as the information that he provides in these videos, it's accurate, and he's a good orator and he's a good editor. His videos perform well. Again, I can't say with certainty some of the political things that he mentions in his videos, if they're good or not. That's entirely subjective. But as far as the quality of videos that he puts out, they're good and they're informative, at least on the topics that, when he starts deep diving into specific stuff. There has been pushback because he used to be right leaning, people are saying, you should sit back, listen to people before you make everything about you. And I can I can assume that, he's not trying to put out stuff that he would think is false, but you have a certain skill set with, editing and putting together scripts and stuff like that. I see no harm in someone using those talents to give actual solid information out to people regarding his shift in ideology. Him being open and honest about his past, I think, is the most important part of this. He's not hiding who he was. He's telling you who he was and the changes that he's made. Transparency is so important. It just makes things easier. You don't have to hide and pretend to be someone you're not. If you are honest about your past, you can just be who you are. So, at the end of the day, whether it's a legal situation or a social situation, try and be transparent with people. It makes things a lot easier for you. Y'all have a good day.